Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out Weird Maps Win Elections, Gerrymandering Explained.
Can we do an episode about politics? No! Alright, what if it's about politics in a foreign country?
They hit the nail on the head. I don't want to do stuff about politics, but sometimes you get dragged into it. Sometimes something's political and you don't realize it's political until you make a YouTube video about it and people post comments. Let's listen to Mark Cooper-Jones's passion.
Can we do an episode about politics? No! Alright, what if it's about politics in a foreign country?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Great! Welcome to Map Men. We're the men, and here's the map.
Map Men, map
Yeah!
map men.
Y'all, this video just came out a few days ago. If you've not watched it yet, be sure to go to Jay Foreman's page first. Watch it there, and then come back here. Oh, and while you're over there, give him a like and subscribe. And what else do you do? Hit the bell. Hit the bell for them. And then come back over here and watch me write my name in urine all over their beautiful creation. Oh, why is there a map of the United States behind them? Okay.
Map men, map men.
This is a map of the 435 districts that the USA is split into for the purposes of voting for members of Congress, the powerful people who pick the policies the president can pass.
Because elections have to be fair, it's important that the map is fair. That's why every 10 years the boundaries get redrawn to make sure every district always contains, as closely as possible, the same number of people, about 700,000.
Which means that this map is actually a very handy way of glancing at population density across the United States.
For example, sparsely populated Wyoming has just one district and just one representative. Hello. And densely populated New York has 26.
Hello. That makes sense, but if you zoom in, some of it doesn't make sense. Lots of districts have very suspicious looking shapes. Buh?
Hang on. Y'all, their videos have so many jokes packed in. I gotta be extra diligent. First, let's just listen to Jay's alliteration here.
The powerful people who pick the policies the president can pass.
Nice.
Hello. And densely populated New York has 26.
Hello. Okay, let me just look through here and make sure these are real. Are these real people? George Santos is on this list. Yo, George Santos. I don't know if you've been following George Santos, but what a character and a chronic liar. An American former politician and convicted felon who served as a U.S. representative of New York's 3rd Congressional District from January to December 2023. So he's out. He was expelled. I'll give it to him. He was the first openly gay congressperson elected to Congress. But you can't even believe that he's gay. He might not be gay. He fabricated his biography. He said he went to school somewhere when he didn't. He said he was like a volleyball champion or something, and he wasn't. Like, he lies about stuff that... Why would you lie about that? Why? It can be easily verified that he's lying, and also it's not like a big brag. Anyway, that's not what this is about. I just saw that he was on the list. Okay. Let's listen to that choir of hellos one more time.
Has 26.
That makes sense, but if you zoom in, some of it doesn't make sense. Lots of districts have very suspicious looking shapes. Buh?
Grr?
Fn?
Do districts really have to be so fn just to get the populations equal?
Nope, there's something more sinister going on. And to find out what it is, we have to go back to 1812.
I know what he was trying to play. The War of 1812. By a composer. If only time travel was that easy. You gotta get the gigawatts and all that stuff.
1812.
Where are we?
We're still in England, but it's 1812.
Shouldn't we be in Boston?
The story starts in Boston, in the office of the governor of Massachusetts, Elbridge Gerry.
With a G.
With a G. There was an election coming up, and it looked like Gerry was about to lose his job.
Wait a minute, what does it say on that paper? Gary is about to lose his job, and he makes the same face that he makes when he pulls the newspaper down. What does this say? War of 1812 still happening. New song by Tchaikovsky. Oh, he's the one who wrote War of 1812. What does it say? Something due next year. James Madison's parrot interrupts important meeting. Oh, can't really read any of the other stuff. Darn, wish I could read this. Oh well.
But his advisors came up with a bill that could practically guarantee a victory for their party without having to win any extra votes. All they had to do was change the map.
But how does changing the map change the results?
That's what Elbridge Gerry said.
How does changing the map change the results?
Allow us to demonstrate with the use of state-of-the-art graphics. Let's say there's a hypothetical rectangular state with two parties, the Chocolate Raisin Party and the Smarty Party.
The Smarty Party is more popular, obviously.
A fair result that you'd expect is 3 Smarty districts and 2 Chocolate Raisin districts.
But watch what happens if someone from the Smarty Party is in charge of drawing the map. They can make it so that Smarties control every district. Smarty indeed.
But, more sneakily, watch what happens if someone from the Chocolate Raisin Party is in charge of drawing the map. They can mathematically make 3 Chocolate Raisin districts and just 2 Smarty, even though there are more Smarties.
Disgusting, shrivelly things.
But
This is
Massachusetts wasn't.
That's a great visualization, actually. That's the best I've ever seen it explained. Jay, Mark, thank you. Thank you. This should be in elementary schools across the United States. Thank you.
Disgusting, shrivelly things.
But Massachusetts wasn't a perfect rectangle with voters arranged into unrealistically neat rows.
Wyoming is.
In order to achieve their desired results on a real map of thousands of human voters, Gerry's team would have to draw their boundaries using 2 techniques: packing and cracking.
Cracking is when you break up a community of opposition voters and dissolve them into surrounding districts, making their votes powerless.
A bit like giving all your dinner guests a tiny bit of vodka in every part of the meal spread across the evening, so everyone gets very, very slightly, barely detectably drunk.
And packing is when you do the opposite.
Ugh, that's funny. I just want to see that again. All those Jay Foremans.
So everyone gets very, very slightly, barely detectably drunk.
And packing is when you do the opposite. And pack
Wait,
as many
what's on the table? Nothing.
Slightly, barely detectably drunk.
And packing is when you do the opposite and pack as many opposition supporters as possible into just one district, making their votes wasted.
A bit like giving all of your vodka to just one of your dinner guests, keeping everyone else completely sober except Uncle Steve.
Once the concept
That's a hard hit. Mark, you okay?
Once the concept was finally explained to Elbridge Gerry, he said he didn't like it and thought it was
Highly disagreeable.
But he signed the bill anyway like a coward, and history was made.
Gerry's team looked at a map of where their supporters lived, and after a heavy night of packing and cracking, this is what they came up with, including this improbably bendy, sort of lizard-shaped district.
Suspicious.
The map caused quite a stir, and caught the attention of political cartoonist Elkanah Tisdale
The
and his
Boston
editor
Gazette.
Nathan Hale at the Boston Gazette.
They have a neon sign. In 1812. Amazing. Historically accurate.
The attention of political cartoonist Elkanah Tisdale and his editor Nathan Hale at the Boston Gazette. Hey, have you seen Governor Gerry's new district map?
Yeah, looks like a salamander.
Ha, you mean a Gerrymander? And that's how the process of manipulating maps.
Everyone in these recreations has a desk, whatever you call this, a nameplate on their desk. So you know who they are.
And that's how the process of manipulating maps for political gain became known as gerrymandering.
Hang on, was that a real newspaper? All that we can learn of the natural history of this remarkable animal is contained in the following... Following what? Learned? Treatise, published in the newspaper in March 1812, embellished by a drawing which is pronounced by all competent judges to be a most accurate likeness. Is that a Matman thing, or is that... Yeah, I think that's real. There's no jokes in there, I don't believe.
And then everyone started pronouncing it wrong.
Which is how it became known as gerrymandering, which was good news for Gerry, who'd probably be delighted that his name hasn't technically gone down in history for this bad thing.
Which brings us back to the present day.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, in a proper democracy, such obvious cheating would have been instantly spotted and nipped in the bud. But due to America's quirky,
Stunningly undemocratic
system where it's politicians themselves who draw their own district maps, gerrymandering very much continues to this day. And it's more sophisticated, high-tech and openly brazen than ever before or anywhere else in the world. It can be seen in swing states all across America.
Yeah.
A shower head, a car with wings, one of those old-fashioned hand drill things,
A dinosaur, a watering can, the shape on the flag of the Isle of Man.
a metal detector, a bale of hay, a knight sitting on his horse the wrong way.
A rabbit in a hat and a bobbit and a spoon.
Super Soaker Seahorse Cameroon. A plume of steam from a mug of tea.
Donald Duck being kicked by Goofy.
A carpet stain from a naughty pup.
A mouse leaning over with a big thumbs up.
Snake, dog, bat, dog, snake, duck, snake. We'll be right back after the break.
I have to hear that again.
A shower head, a car with wings, one of those old-fashioned hand drill things.
A dinosaur, a watering can, the shape on the flag of the Isle of Man.
A metal detector, a bale of hay, a knight sitting on his horse the wrong way.
A rabbit in a hat and a bobbit and a spoon.
Super Soaker Seahorse Cameroon. A plume of steam from a mug of tea.
Donald Duck being kicked by Goofy.
A carpet stain from a naughty pup.
A mouse leaning over with a big thumbs up.
Snake, dog, bat, dog, snake, duck, snake. We'll be right back after the break.
I think I saw a mug with Dame Edna on it. Did I see a mug with Dame Edna on it? It is Dame Edna. I want a Dame Edna coffee mug.
Snake, dog, bat, dog, snake, duck, snake. We'll be right back after the break.
Snake, duck, snake.
Hello,
dog.
is this the travel agents?
Yes, we are still a thing.
Oh, y'all. They have good ads. They make sketches out of their ads. Let's watch.
Hello, is this the travel agents?
Yes, we are still a thing.
Bonkers. I'd like a round-the-world trip, please.
Ah, you want to see such famous sights as the Taj Mahal, the Pyramids of Giza, and the Belgian boy doing a wee.
Did he say a Belgian boy doing a wee?
And the Belgian boy doing a wee.
What's the Belgian boy doing a wee? I haven't heard of the Belgian boy doing a wee. Belgian boy doing a wee. It's like a fountain. Mannequin Piz, Dutch for Little Pissing Man, is a landmark 21.9-inch bronze fountain sculpture in central Brussels, Belgium, depicting a pure mingens, a naked little boy urinating into the fountain's basin. I didn't know this was a thing. He's got a little onesie on here. Probably for football or something? Having fun with the ancient relics. Oh, it's dressed in costumes several times each week. Wow. The costumes are managed by a non-profit association, the Order of the Friends of Mannequin Peas. What? Wow. Cool. Hey. Hey. He's got a ton of little suits and stuff. This one had lights? Wow. Oh, this is in Japan. Oh, he's not peeing. Oh, he is. It's a girl peeing. A dog peeing. Wow. Amazing. I had no idea.
Better than that, I want to go to Edmonton to watch Spider-Man No Way Home on Canadian Netflix, which isn't available in the UK.
That's
then
Jay's
I want to go
voice.
to Aberdeen to watch 24 Hours in Tesco on UK Netflix, which isn't available in Canada. Then I want to go to Baden-Baden in Germany to get a discount not available in the UK on flights to Baden-Baden.
But didn't you know you can simply achieve all this with
That's Mark's
Surfshark
voice.
VPN, an app and browser extension that makes your browser
switched
think it's in another
voices.
country, bypassing your own country's restrictions, allowing you to view streaming services and discounts that aren't available in your country, such as Canadian Netflix from a British computer or Belgian Amazon Prime from a Namibian computer, and so on, as well as providing security benefits by masking your IP address and encrypting your data, preventing you from being tracked by advertisers and hackers, all with just one account on an unlimited number of devices, available with a special deal for viewers of Map Men who can click the link in the description or scan this QR code and use the code MapMen to get an extra 4 months for
Nice
free.
finger.
Yes, I'm well aware of Surfshark. I've seen 12 adverts for it on this channel alone, and frankly, I'm getting sick of it.
Well, what would you rather see an advert for?
Crisps.
Alright, here you go.
Whether you're sharing a picnic with your family, or you want to give your lunch that extra crunch, or you're settling down to watch television with a friend with benefits, there's nothing quite like crisps.
Happy
Nice.
now?
Yes, thank you. I quite like that.
Still want that round the world trip?
Nah, I'm just going to buy some crisps. Oh, and Surfshark.
Worth it.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun.
Oh, they made it.
Gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering.
Everyone says gerrymandering.
Everyone's wrong.
Gerrymandering has serious consequences.
North Carolina. In the 2018 midterm elections, Republicans won 10 out of 13 seats with just 51% of the votes.
Ohio. Republicans won 12 out of 16 seats with
Ohio.
just 52% of the votes.
And the Democrat Party does it too. Mar-a-Laund. Democrats won 7 out of 8
Mar-a-Laund.
seats with just 63% of the votes.
So then, why don't they just make squiggly districts illegal?
Oh, if only it were that simple. Sometimes a district that looks sillily squiggly has been made squiggly for a good reason. Republican voters and Democrat voters tend to clump together with their own kind, with Republicans mostly in the countryside and Democrats mostly in big cities. This is called self-sorting, and it's only getting more extreme.
The problem with self-sorting is, if your district has no opposition in it, your politician won't have to work hard, and you won't have to bother to vote.
And so, to encourage healthy, competitive elections,
Mark's laying on the couch, and Jay's throwing popcorn into his mouth. I know it's a joke, but that's probably not far off from what our politicians are actually doing.
or extreme.
The problem with self-sorting is, if your district has no opposition in it, your politician won't have to work hard, and you won't have to bother to vote.
And so, to encourage healthy, competitive elections, legislators make districts squiggly on purpose, encouraging politicians to broaden their appeal and prevent politics from being polarised.
Competitiveness is not the only good reason for bonkers-looking map squiggles. Take a look at Illinois. In central Chicago, you'll find the famous Earmuffs district, Illinois' 4th, which wraps around the 7th, barely holding itself together with the I-294 highway. Both the 4th and 7th districts are solid Democrat, so why in the name of all that jazz will they split this way?
Members of Congress don't just make up numbers for their party. Each one is supposed to represent their community.
A so-called community of interest can mean people from a certain industry or housing type or education or race.
For decades in America, minorities were terribly underrepresented in Congress. After much
What did it say? Unavoidably serious topic, yeah.
For decades in America, minorities were terribly underrepresented in Congress. After much campaigning, in 1965, the Voting Rights Act was passed, which made it illegal for any state to do anything that made it difficult for minorities to get elected.
Is this real? I have a feeling this is real. Let me just check. 89th Congress of the United States of America, the first session begun and held in the city of Washington, to enforce the 15th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States and for other purposes. I think that's real. I don't see any jokes.
Which included drawing voting districts that broke up minority communities.
What this practically means is every state is now required to pack voters of the same race into fewer districts.
No one wants it to be necessary, but it's the only way to make Congress reflect America's true diversity instead of its true racism.
Which explains this. This is a mostly African American community, and these are two mostly Latino communities.
So immediately we can see the problem.
You can make districts compact, or you can make them competitive, or you can make them keep a community. But you can't make them all three.
That's what makes fixing gerrymandering so hard. No one can agree on which is the most important C.
Which is why all attempts over the last few decades at fixing gerrymandering have produced various amounts of not much success, including, most notably, in California, with the strong support of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's time to say hasta la vista to gerrymandering.
But in almost every case, any attempt to fix it has only made things worse, serving only to highlight how impossible it is to make everybody happy.
Okay. We gotta read all these headlines. Why California politicians will keep drawing their own election districts. How Democrats learn to stop worrying and love the gerrymander. Math can't solve gerrymandering. Voting rights at risk after Supreme Court makes it harder to challenge racial gerrymandering. Federal courts uphold Tennessee's U.S. House map, rules it's gerrymandered but not racially. Redistricting will always be contentious, ask Arizona. Even a gerrymandering ban can't keep politicians from trying to shape their districts. Ohio Republicans approve misleading ballot language to favor gerrymandering. 50-state report, Texas earns failing grades for 2020 redistricting from Common Cause. Oh, look what it says at the bottom. Nobody reads these, do they? If you are reading this, please post a link in the comments to a video of yourself with a towel over your head, flapping your arms like a chicken, singing the theme tune from Sesame Street. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? I did it. I feel like a whore. Judge throws out Maryland congressional map over extreme gerrymandering. Gerrymandering has left Texas voters with few options. Utah's gerrymandered House map ignored voters' will, state Supreme Court says. New Nevada political maps get F grade for significant Democratic advantage. Judges dismiss suit alleging Tennessee's political maps discriminate against communities of color. Seems to happen a lot.
Since we're not in America, it's easy for us as outsiders, living in a country whose democracy is practically perfect in every way, to tell Americans how they should run theirs.
So, just in time for the next round of redistricting in 2031, here are Mapmen's top tips for how the USA can fix gerrymandering.
1. Instead of giving districts boring numbers, make legislators give them actual names. The longer the name, the harder the shape will be to justify.
Yeah, I like that.
2.
I like
Get
that.
computers to draw your districts for you. AI is a powerful tool these days, and the robots know what's best for us.
Yeah, the robots
3.
know. Eat more
Abolish
fiber.
geographical districts and divide the country by communities of internet. The people who share your priorities that need representing in government are all across the country, and not just physically close to you.
Huh.
4. Increase
Hang
the
on. Hang on. A lot of words going by the screen. What is this thing? What is that? Is that some British toy? Teachers, farmers, renters, drivers, divorcees, restaurant critics, bus drivers, bus passengers, stamp collectors, people who look good in hats, trombonists, soccer moms, football mums, bronies, audiophiles, that's me, Swifties, cosplay types, shelf stackers, nice people, baseball fans, cat people, people who like cats. Jerks, pescatarians, small business owners, large small business owners, dandruff victims, hypochondriacs, Nokia owners, glove enthusiasts, clean freaks, people who still watch The Simpsons, history buffs, your mom, hay fever sufferers, prison guards, ex-dentists, nose pickers, former presidents, future presidents, sellers of propane and propane accessories, Hank Hill. What did the last one say? Damn it. People who can actually taste coriander and therefore hate it. I think I fall into a few of those categories. I think that covers everyone.
Your priorities that need representing in government are all across the country, and not just physically close to you.
4. Increase the number of members of Congress from 435 to 435,000, so each district contains just one street. You can't say it wouldn't work.
And
Wow. Wow. We need a much bigger Capitol building for that.
You can't say it wouldn't work.
And 5. Stop worrying about democracy and just let a dictator take over.
Before we start blaming America's politicians for cheating at democracy, it's important to remember gerrymandering is only possible because voters are predictable. You can't draw lines around how people are going to vote if you don't know how they're going to vote.
Today, more than ever before, people support political parties like football teams and are less likely to ever allow their minds to be changed.
I blame Twitter.
And the more this happens, the harder it is to draw anything apart from depressingly predictable districts.
In the last election, 81% of Americans lived in districts where it was extremely obvious who was going to win, leaving it to just a tiny handful of swing voters to decide the result for the whole country.
It's impossible to draw a map that will make everybody happy, but fighting for fairness is worth the faff. If voters can at least feel their voices being heard, they'll be encouraged to turn up and to vote for their real favourite, making democracy more meaningful.
Until then, the American political system will remain an antiquated basket case that enables those with power to rig the system for themselves and block any meaningful progress for the foreseeable future.
Glad we don't live in a country like that.
Map man, y'all. It's a good one. It's a good one. I've always thought that gerrymandering was just bad overall. I didn't realize there was a good side to it, actually. This made me think that, oh, gerrymandering's not so bad. When it's used to try to make the politicians work a little harder for your vote and make sure everyone's represented, you know? That's a good thing. Another beautiful, brilliant Mapman video. Be sure to go to Jay Foreman's page and like and subscribe and all that stuff. Well, thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.